What should be done about the enormous fraud perpetrated on planet Earth, humanity, by the group known as Big Pharma and their related so-called healthcare industry people? Well, why do I say it's a fraud? Well, it's like it just becomes more and more apparent to me every day that they're selling pills that do nothing because they have created diseases. And an enormous fear campaign that you're going to get this disease unless you take whatever medication it is that they just so happen to have. The profit motive, people, reasonable people would say, well, you've got to have things. You've got to have food and, you expect to pay for it. And, profiting from, the whole food industry is, it's crossing the line when you are doing a fraud on people. You are telling them enormous lies and putting billions of dollars into advertising to brainwash people that they need your product. That is fraud. It's a criminal offense. And we see no prosecution on these frauds. So what is supposed to happen? The answer is most of us are still waiting for official confirmation that these frauds have been admitted to. The governmental authorities still haven't. It's not on their agenda to tell you that you've been lied to all this time. We don't have a lawyers group that are doing a collective action on this. And the pharmaceutical companies are really never going to tell you this. So what is going to have to happen is more and more of us are going to be talking about it. What should be done with human beings who cook up an enormous fraud? Well, according to the criminal code, you should be put in jail, perhaps fined. Maybe there should be civil penalties. We're talking about years and years and years, decades of criminal activity by the healthcare profiteers. And they've been enjoying the fruits of their fraud for decades and decades. Enormous wealth that they get to go and enjoy themselves with based on a huge lie. It just doesn't seem fair. Everyone else has, been slaving away. These ones cook up enormous schemes of lies to entrap and ensnare the naive, which is basically everyone on planet Earth. The answer of how this is going to play out perhaps will not be seen for another 65 years, because at the rate that people are waking up, it's going to take that long before we get mass action. Nevertheless, I'm putting it down now that I am aware of it. And then the problem is you can't stop a Titanic on a dime. Once you get into these systems, and these systems are persistent and they are throughout the whole world, you can't by yourself decide